What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Smoking Lounge. Smoking light is on. We're going to go ahead and smoke a couple cigars. We're going to have some coffee, and we're going to have a little bit of a talk.
Yeah,
we're not sure what we're going to talk about yet, but we'll see where it leads.
All right, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
All right, let's get these.
Stay tuned. All right, so we are enjoying a couple of Privada cigars. I am smoking the Delectados. I can't. All right, so I don't have the information off the top of my head right now for both these cigars. He's smoking the Batista.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's the one thing about Privada. Not only do they have the club and the Facebook and Instagram and social media, and you get the cards with all of them.
Yes.
But they also have what's it called? It's a Discord channel. I don't know exactly what's going on with Discord because it's something that we're gonna toy with eventually, but it's not something that I know about yet. But they literally have every card for every cigar for the past X amount of years. So it's pretty cool that they do that.
Yeah, so we're just going to do a little morning chit-chat, catch up from this week's activities.
Kind of talk about what's on tap for the week.
Oh, sorry, can't lean out. Forgot we're in a very confined space today.
Yeah, we're still in the midst of our weight loss challenge, and we're not where we want to be yet, but we're trying to get more comfortable in front of the camera. So, screw it, this is us. Enjoy the view. So, the Delectados and the Batista. I hear lots of good things about the Batista. I don't think I've had that one yet, but I have one. Yeah, this another banger. It's a little bit darker flavor. I get a little bit of like deep wood notes, dark tobacco. Just that's off the foot. Deep wood note so far. Good deep cedar. Smooth. Oh, it's creamy. It's creamy.
This is a nice smooth one. This is pretty much what I expected it to be with a light wrapper, that it would be a nice light, good morning coffee cigar. Wish I'd punched a hole instead of cut the tip, flat cut. It's a little bit of a bigger cigar.
Just the tip.
And winds up giving you quite a honker to stick in your choppers.
He likes honkers in his choppers. All right. So while we're smoking this, let's. So what do you?
I think you had some what if questions you wanted to throw around.
Yeah. So all right. So let's go with one that's kind of interesting here. This is the number one question that I've wanted to ask you. As soon as I read it, I'm like, you know what? I don't know the answer to this question. I need to know my boy better. What is your favorite dinosaur?
Huh.
And there's only one correct answer, to be quite honest with you. Any other answers wrong?
Well, I think the typical person would go for the Tyrannosaurus Rex. That's like the guy macho thing to say. I am more of a velociraptor kind of guy. I like that hunting in a pack. I like that brutality that they supposedly had. I mean, obviously they're dinosaurs. Who really knows for sure? But I just like that pack mentality.
I think Jurassic Park did all their research and they know exactly how it works.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I got very limited. I got very limited resources.
No, that's hard.
But
I mean,
if they are that way, that would be my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Another one that I loved growing up, actually as a child, my favorite was and I don't even know what they're called. This is how not into dinosaurs I really am. Is that turtle-looking one with the big swinging ball tail?
Ankylosaurus.
Yeah, I always loved those when I was a kid. Those and the pterodactyls always fascinated me. The rest were like, yeah, okay,
Why can you never know when a pterodactyl's going to the bathroom?
I don't know.
Because the P is silent. Sorry, dad joke. Enjoy that one. You can take that one and use it with your kids. No, but those answers are wrong. Sorry. The only correct answer is a Triceratops.
I don't know which one that is.
It's the one with the 3 horns.
Oh, with the spikes down its back?
No, that's a Stegosaurus. The 3 horns coming out of their head. Boom, boom.
No,
and then like on those Triceratops.
No.
That's the only right answer.
Why is that one?
Because it's the best dinosaur.
Oh, the one that looks like a rhino?
Yes. It's
Okay.
the only right answer.
I don't know why expound upon why you think that's the best one. It's like a grass eater, isn't it?
Yeah. It's an herbivore, and
It's basically a cow.
with horns. It's like
A bull. It's like a bull.
Big rhinoceros.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah. But it's like a, reptile. No, I don't know. There's no reason explanation. It's just kind of like when you know. When it's the best, it's the best. Comment
I
below-
like the little bit more violent hunter meat eater type.
Comment below with your favorite dinosaur, and remember, there's only one correct answer. And you get bonus points if you can name like a ridiculous name that nobody's ever heard of.
And it's true.
Yeah, go for it. But man, this is a good cigar. Very creamy.
Yeah,
But right before we started filming, so right now we're filming in the beginning of summer here in Florida.
It
And,
is crazy hot at
it's
ridiculously
crazy hot,
early in the morning.
outrageously humid, but it hasn't been raining.
No, not a lot of rain yet. It is about 10 in the morning, right around there.
Yep.
And we are sitting at already 86 degrees with a real feel of, well, it's not going to give me 94.
94.
So we're 86, feeling 10 degrees, almost 10 degrees hotter, 8 degrees hotter.
So it's outrageously hot, outrageously humid, but we haven't been getting any rain.
We got a 72% humidity, which, if you're from this area, you know that is
It's pretty
extremely high.
And
It can get higher, though.
Today is the first day that we have legitimate forecast for storms.
Yeah, we're looking at about 55% starting this afternoon, early
And
evening.
you can see like outside today the cloud, like since I've been home about a week. Since I've been home, the sky has been cloudless. There was one day where we had like a 10-minute rain. That was when we were doing the ribs. We were smoking the ribs. We had about 10 minutes of rain. It is so dry here right now that we literally, just before we started filming, I got a phone call and a message saying that there's a state of emergency, there's a severe drought, no burn. They're not even allowing agriculture to burn. It's on a case-by-case basis right now. In the whole, I don't know if it's the whole state or just the county.
I don't either.
But right now, yeah, it's outrageous. All the canals, so if you're not from Florida, we have little drainage, we call them canals. They're little drainage canals.
They're man-made canals.
Yeah. And they're everywhere. They're all over. There's little bridges that goes under the roads. They have culverts where the water goes over. But they're everywhere. Everywhere you go, you see these little canals, little waterways.
Some of them actually have fish in them.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you don't want to eat the fish out of them. But if fishing for sport is your thing, I know a lot of people do fishing.
A lot of people, a lot of the smaller canals, the shallow, stagnant water canals, a lot of people are starting to fish snakehead, for those of you who know it, because they like the stagnant water, the low moving, and the wash off
I don't know.
from the roads.
Oh yeah, the runoff.
So they love that, but all the big canals still have water, but all the little ones, all the drainage ones, all the ones that we see filled all year round for the past 10 years, they're dry. There's no water in any of them. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, we've had a very dry year, which some would say was going to heighten our chances of hurricanes this year. I don't know a whole lot about it. I just, when they come, they come. It is what it is. I just make sure I load up on alcohol and beer for the couple weeks.
That's it.
Leading up into it, I always have plenty of water.
I mean, as lifelong
garbage.
Floridian, I'm not worried about hurricanes. I'm really not. Luckily, because, well, I don't know if you want to say luckily, we have kids, so my wife is on the B team for the hospital, so she's not at the hospital for the storm. The A team, when you work in the hospital, the A team is the one who works during the storm, and some hospitals allow like family members, kids to go with them. Hospital she works at now currently does not allow that, so they put her on the B team so she gets to be home with kids during hurricanes.
Nice.
It has to do with like El Nino, La Nina.
So how excited are you to start class tomorrow?
Oh man, I'm so excited. I literally went through this morning. I woke up. So right now we're trying to work out the vehicle. Brandon, who's 18 years old, recently graduated high school. He's been using my SUV. Amanda, my wife, had to work. It's a summer, so some of the kids are up north with their biological father. One of the kids, Adriana, the dancer, is down here for dance camp, and she does dance for competition. And we have a competition up in Orlando at the end of the month. But she has dance camp. Brandon has work, and I'm home. So 2 vehicles works when I'm not home, but when I am home, we have to plan. So, you know, like I'm running around, bringing them everywhere and stuff like that. I am so looking forward to getting this class. So I woke up this morning, woke the kids up, and I got all my gear situated. I got all my clothes, my gloves, everything that I need except for my water bottle, which I've got plenty of ice. I mean, I am the Iceman. So I've got everything set up and ready. I got my clothes, my shoes, my gloves. The only thing I don't have is a helmet, but they provide the helmet for the class. But yeah, it's tomorrow, and I laid it all out, making sure everything was good today.
It's funny because
super excited.
I started riding right around the 16 or 17, 18 years of age mark. I can't remember exactly when. I had my first bike at about 16, but I don't remember the exact day I started riding. 17, 18 age limit, somewhere around there, or age start. But I didn't take my motorcycle's test because it wasn't required back then. As long as you had a driver's license, you could ride. So I didn't actually take the test until they made it mandatory for anybody less than so many years of age. So when I was 20, we were required by law to take the test. Now my dad, who'd been riding since he was a teenager, was what they call grandfathered in because he had been riding for over a certain amount of years. None of those guys had to take the test. But I fell just a year or two, I think, shy of that limit. I think it was a 10-year limit or something. I was just a couple years shy of that or something like that. So maybe it was a 5-year limit and I was just shy. Anyway, so I had to take the class, but I rode up on a 750 sport bike back in the day to get off and take this course on these little 125 bikes. You know, and I remember there was a handful of us because we were all already riders who now had to go take this test. And all of us were like, can we just do it on our regular bikes? I mean, we throw these things around the streets every day. I was a daily rider back then, so that's all I had. My wife at the time had a car. We had a family car, but I rode everywhere, every day, to work, everywhere. Kind of like now, because I'm actually getting rid of Black Beauty. She finally took a kaput on me, so she's heading out of the driveway probably this week. Which has put me back for the last, about a month now, put me back into daily riding, which I love. Until it's a rainy day, that kind of sucks. You got to spend that extra time gearing up all the rain gear. If I'm leaving work or headed to the house and it's raining, I just don't care. I just get wet. But if I'm going to work, I have to rain gear up. And that's a good 30 minutes extra on your morning because you got 15 minutes of gearing up, get to work early, so you have that 15 minutes to gear back down, stow that away so it can dry out while you work, and then, ride home.
So my future, guys.
So it is a little bit of a pain. Well, not really, because you won't ride to work. And that's really, anywhere else, if I get wet, I just either change my plans, or if I'm coming home or we're just out doing an all-day ride, you'll dry out in the wind eventually once the rain stops. If it gets too bad you can't see or you can't keep your eyes clear, then you find a safe place to park and wait it out. But I can deal with that. It's only when I'm going someplace important that I have to be dry, because nobody wants to work for the first 5 hours of their day with soaking wet feet and socks and pants. And when it rains, you literally get drenched within a mile. You are head to toe, every inch of you is soaking wet if it's a steady rain.
And nobody wants to go out to eat to a nice restaurant.
We've actually done it. Your son, or our son, Sean, we had went riding. We went up to Fort Pierce. It was about 45 minutes away to the jetty where it goes out to the ocean, to a restaurant. We got there and they were closed. So the whole family decided to backtrack about 30 minutes south to a ale house. And when it started raining as we were leaving the parking lot of the first restaurant, and it was not just a light rain, it was a Florida downpour. Like, you can only see 5 to 10 feet in front of you. But we went ahead and went, him on his bike, he was a new rider, and me on mine to kind of keep an eye on him, and because I was on my bike. And by the time we got to the restaurant, he had called ahead and had his brothers bring him a change of clothes. I did not have that option. So when we got to the restaurant, he went to the bathroom, put on dry clothes, dried off with a towel, passed the towel off with me. I dried off a little bit, but I was still set for the whole dinner in soaking wet clothes.
That's when you asked the manager for a mop.
It was not
So you
fun.
just sit down and
I was like, can I mop this up, or should I dry it up? And they're like, yeah, we got it, whatever. So so that was a soaking wet day, but it was a great memory with him.
Yeah,
and we still talk about it to this day. The downpour ride.
It's so funny how we talk about this all the time. So the first time I took my boys hunting, we got skunked first of all, but it was in the George Washington State Park in Virginia.
Yeah.
So we went there. We set up camp and everything, and it was the coldest weather they had ever been in. It was cold. I mean, it was like maybe in the -1 digits. It was cold. But it's when you're hunting, you're out in the elements. You kind of have to expect it. So we kind of expected it. They didn't. So now they were so miserable when they were hunting. But now it's a fun story. So it's funny how those crappy moments make the best stories for later.
Oh yeah, totally. And we're going to be showing in some future episodes upgrades to my bike, because I have had, for those of you who don't know or follow me on Instagram or anything, I have a 2016 Street Glide Special Harley Davidson. Love it. My favorite bike. It's Genevieve. It's a kind of a side nickname after my girlfriend Jenny, and it's known. We jokingly say that's my girlfriend and Jenny's my side chick. I always say that the bike's my side chick because, but there's some debate and some feelings on which one we go first. But this year, she will be paid off. The bike. The bike will be paid off.
The other one will never get paid off. Trust me, I know. So
she will start getting some up dressings. She will start getting, I'm going to put some ape hangers on it. I'm going to black out a few things. New strap on the tank, because I bought the bike a couple years used with stupid low miles from my local Harley. Got a really good deal on it. It has been an absolute, knock on wood, 100% awesome bike. It has not left me stranded. She has been dependable as rain. And that's funny because, when I got into Harleys, I was worried about all the stories I heard growing up about how you're always under the wrench, they're always leaking, they're always breaking down. I have not had that experience, but I do understand that every year that Harley produces bikes, they get better like anyone else. So they've got them to where they vibrate a little less, which I'm fine with the vibrations. But it does keep things from rattling loose as much. And then I know this is controversial. Some guys like to change their own oil, and I've done it on my bike. Some guys like to take it to cheaper shops. I have no problem taking it to Harley. They go over it front to back, tighten every bolt that is known to loosen, check some that are known to occasionally loosen. They check your belt, they check your brakes. When I know that when it's went into them and they've spent their 3 hours servicing it, when it comes back out, I have no fears about everything, because they check everything and they update you on anything you want to keep an eye on or anything you should address. So I have 100% confidence when my bike comes out of Harley, and that alone makes it, to me, worth the money to pay for the service. And it is expensive.
I was just about to say, right now I have the Honda Shadow 750. It's a 750, right? So 750. It needs some work done before I can ride it.
Only a few things, and only because Sean laid it down.
We're planning on getting all the stuff hopefully this week.
Hopefully this week.
And then soon we'll be filming a video of us fixing it up, getting it ride ready.
I think we have about 21 days to get it ready, right?
Yeah.
Or something. Because
I was
the title won't be back before that.
No, it should be back within 7 to
I thought he said
days.
21, but
maybe it was 7 to 10. I hope it was.
Anyway, whatever it is, when we have that period of time to hopefully have it back. And it's not hard. It needs new plugs, which we just want to do because we're already going to be dealing with it. But really what it needs is the plug wire. One of them got ripped out when it hit the ground. It just tore it loose from its little boot. So we want to put new plug wires on it. So while we're at it, we're going to switch the plugs. It needs a new battery because it's literally sitting in my garage for the last couple of years. And I just don't have the time to start the other bikes in my garage.
Well, there was no reason to.
On a weekly, just so they can run when nobody's here, and then I have to run and get fuel to put back in them because I'm starting them and letting them
because the bike's going to stay here when I'm gone, and once that happens, he'll do it for me. So I know that because he's already said he would. But
Yeah.
if there's no reason to do it, there's no reason to do it. I've been saying I was going to do this course for at least the past 4 years.
But I am excited because hopefully in 12 to 15 days, whatever it is,
Yep.
we will have three bikes that are getting ridden, because for about 2 to 3 years, I had 3 bikes. Well, actually,
Yeah.
the 5 years we've lived in this house, I have had 3 bikes in the garage at all times, and only one of them gets ridden. But luckily, about 6 months ago, my son got his license. So after about 2.5 years, he finally put his Harley on the road. We dressed it, we got it running, put new battery, changed the oil, got all the service and stuff done, aired up the tires, checked it all out, and he's been riding for about 6 months now.
Oh.
Now it's turned to do the 750.
I remember
And
where
get
I was
her
going
back on
with
the
it.
road.
So where I was going with that, I lost track because I got a little excited thinking about it. But so he paid what, like $1,700?
I think like $2,200.
Yeah, he paid something for, like,
Yeah.
not much. So I'm gonna ride this to learn, and it's obviously I'm not taking it to a shop. Him and his brother are gonna help me.
My brother and I have worked on every bike we've ever owned. We actually took my dad's Goldwing that he sold for me to like dirt cheap, 80s Goldwing, and we stripped that thing down into a cafe, and it was a cool little runaround bike. We've done all our own bike work. My brother, we work on his bike. We work for my nephew's sport bikes. We used to work on my sport bikes. It's only since I got the Harley that I've ever paid a dealer to touch my bike.
That's what
And even my cars, 90% of my life, my cars have always been fixed by me unless it was something major or AC. I don't mess with AC units. There's too much high pressure lines and too much stuff that has to be 100% perfect,
right on.
or you just blow out more.
Trust me, I know all about
compressors and more
AC
stuff.
problems. AC's still out.
So yeah, the 750 will be maintained by my brother and I, like it always has been.
And it's just
like my
learning
son's Harley. It gets maintained by us because he bought it cash. It's I think it's an 06.
Right.
It's a nice little, more or less a Dyna. I think now at that year they didn't call them Dynas, so it's got like a some kind of little name, and I forget what it is. Anyway.
But my next bike, the bike that I want, and the one that I want for a while, I want to get the Suzuki Boulevard. I think it's the M90 Boss. That's the bike I want to do for a while. I want to ride. That's the one I want to learn how to do, like long rides. I want to ride it for a long time.
If any of you viewers have ridden that particular bike and have any comments on it, please post them in the comments, because he's also planning on buying that bike, because we do a lot of long rides. We're not, I mean, we do runabouts around town or go out to lunch or something like that. But typically what we like to do is an all-day ride, like out around Lake Okeechobee, or a 2 or 3 day ride up to St. Pete or up to Jacksonville or St. Augustine, or down to the Keys, which I think we've spoken. We have both those rides, Augustine Distillery and a trip to the Keys planned over the next 1.5 to 2 years.
And
that's beside the point.
As soon as I get that bike, we're going to be doing a lot more of those.
But we're going to be doing
rides.
all those on the bike, and so we're hoping that the Suzuki Boulevard is a good long ride bike.
Yeah.
Like my Street Glide, I can ride that thing for 3 days straight, come home after a long, 800-900 mile weekend, and feel like I never even was on the bike, which is great, because I come from a sport bike world where 30 minutes and you feel it for 3 days.
Yes. And the other thing to consider is I'm short. I'm 5'4", and I'm not a small guy, so I don't want to ride around on something that makes me look huge. I'm already big enough. But yeah, if you know anything about the Boulevard, especially I think it's the M90 Boss. I think that's what it is. Let us know. Tell me in the comments.
Basically what he's going to do is he's going to ride that for probably a couple of years, 2-3 years, till he has the experience and the feel, and maybe even convinces his wife to give the back of the bike a try. Right now she is dead set against ever getting on a two-wheeler. So she's going to become our new chase driver.
Yeah, and we've got plans for that. It's going to be cool.
So hopefully by the time he gets ready to upgrade from the Boss to a Harley, he personally will be ready to let go of what he considers a much more rugged, tough guy bike and move into like a nice bagger or something that's built for long rides.
So I totally intend to get a Harley. My thing is, start out on the Shadow, get some comfort in actually riding, because I've been on a bike one time. Then move up to the Boulevard, and that bike get comfortable actually riding. Plus, I guarantee it. I'm about 99.93% sure I'm going to lay it down at least.
Well, the rule in biking is it's not if, it's when. At some point, you're going to lay it down. Now, that doesn't mean a major accident. That could be
Like,
turning to
just
turn
like
and
Sean
hitting
did,
some
just
sugar sand.
slow
It could
down.
be
Yeah.
stopping on a painted line in the rain, hitting too much front brake in the rain. I mean, bikes go down. Every rider at some point hits the ground.
Yeah, I know it's going
Most
down.
of them barely injury. My son's in 6 months. On his first 3 or 4 weeks of learning, he put it down, I think, like 3 times. Twice at a stoplight because it was raining and he hit the front brake too hard on the white stripe on the road, and it just kicks that front end down. He's able to just pick it up, continue on the ride. No, just minimal scratches on the bike, on the safety rails, because it's got crash bars and stuff on it, which we kept on it for safety for him. And then one time he was making a turn and hit some sugar sand. And again, the front end, if you hit something like that, or you use too much front brake, or you hit just right in the rain with the brake, it will kick out. The rear will slide. You'll fishtail. You can usually keep those upright. But that front tire, you got to learn to stay off that front brake. And he has since learned to, inclement weather, heavy sandy areas, grass, stay off the front brake as much as possible because it will kick out. But that being said, he wants to get the experience on a bike that is cheaper to fix. Harleys, every part on them was expensive. Now, you can't touch the quality of them, in my opinion.
No.
But we all know I'm a Harley fan. But the Suzuki Boulevard, the Hondas, they're cheaper to fix. I mean, you can pick up either OEM parts or aftermarket parts because tons of them are made for those bikes, and they're cheap.
And you're talking between 5K and maybe 10 at the high range.
Yeah, you buy a used metric bike, metric cruiser. You're looking $5 to 10 grand for a used one in great condition. Same thing on a Harley. You're probably hitting the mid-teens to the mid-20s for that same year, same styling of a bike.
That's why I want to wait because because let's say I spend $8 grand on the Boulevard, drop it a couple times, get some scratches, get a couple dings in it, and then maybe have to replace something. Just like with Sean, he laid down the clutch and just the minor things that we're going to replace on it. But then you turn around and you do it with a Harley.
It's expensive.
Yeah, so I'd much rather get the experience, have a couple, spill it a couple times.
And I will encourage him like I encourage my son, and I do it, and I encourage everybody, get insurance. It's so cheap. It's anywhere from $60 to $80 a month.
Yeah.
And that covers anybody that you hit. Say you kick out the bike. I went down about 7 years ago in the rain. My front brakes caught a piece of gelled up brake fluid. It locked the front brakes down in the rain. I went down. I slid down the road. I got 5 to 10 staples in my elbow, had a concussion for about 24 hours, but I was fine. The bike was totaled, which was the good thing about the insurance is the insurance paid my bike off completely, and I actually wound up with a couple $100. So I was okay, and I'd only owned the bike for a couple months. That's why I hadn't sorted out that it had gelled up brake fluid. Now, as soon as the bike comes in, I drain the fluid and check it if it's a used bike. But it also, I slid, me personally, not the bike, I slid into an oncoming car at about 45 miles an hour, and I did about $3,000 damage to her front fender and door.
Hard head, man.
I'm a big dude, and 45 mile an hour, I'm basically a meat rocket, and I slammed into it. And
that was my nickname.
It was sad because I made sure and called her insurance company, or actually they might have called me to check status of something or to give me their info or whatever. But I made sure to tell them, please let her know I'm okay, because she just assumed she killed me because I hit hard. And I walked away with it, like I said, with a 24-hour concussion and 5 staples in my elbow and no skin on either knee. But that has grown back. I got some scar. You got that road rash scars, but whatever.
Now I'm a bit older. I'm starting out 42 years old. Not riding from a teen. So I'm taking the safety real seriously. I've always wanted to ride. I've always envisioned myself on a sport bike. I'm a bit older now. I'm not looking to go those speeds. And
I wasn't going fast, by the way. That accident, I was doing about 45 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour when I topped out, or when I dropped down, which was the speed limit on that road. I was not. We were literally. We'd worked all day. We'd went out, shot some pool. Did not have drinks. Well, we did. We had a couple Dad's root beers or something. But we were there for hours and hours and hours after just bullshitting and chilling. So there was no alcohol involved on the ride home. It just simply, I had bought a bike a month earlier. We had some brake problems with it because what had happened is it had been in storage for 2 years. The brake fluid had gelled up. We thought we had cleaned it out just by flushing the system, but really should have just replaced the system.
Does that happen from it getting wet? Or
no, it just happens from sitting for so long. It might have had an air leak in the seal on the brakes. Somehow it gelled up, and what it does is when it gels up, if it comes back through the return line, it clogs the hole. Then the brakes once they start heating up, they lock up. And you won't know it because there's no warnings, there's no lights, there's no nothing. It's just all of a sudden within about 10 feet, you'll go from whatever speed you're going to dead stop in a short, ridiculous, like almost pitch you over the front of the bike.
Especially not knowing it's coming.
But the problem was it was raining. Had it not been raining, and it was a trifecta of bad luck. I was in one lane, but there were manhole covers, which I believe is why it kicked out so fast. It was raining, the brakes locked up, I hit that manhole cover, which anybody who rides knows metal gets slippery in the rain.
Yeah.
And I hit that, and it just, perfect storm, kicked out. I had a good witness, which was the guy in the car beside me, saw it all happen because I remember riding, I remember sliding for a few minutes, I remember getting loaded onto the helicopter, and I remember waking up in the hospital. That's all I remember. Now, I was helmeted up, because especially when I rode sport bikes like that, I always wore a helmet. Now, I only wear a helmet if I'm on the interstate on my Harley. I ride different. I'm a much different rider than I was on sport bikes, because on sport bikes you do, even though that day I wasn't, but you do push the rules a little more. That's why I always made sure to have a helmet on.
Now, when it comes to me, he's talked me through it all. I'm in the process. I'll be ordering a helmet in the next few days. I've got a protective shirt jacket kind of thing I'm going to be ordering in the next few days. Looking for the pants and the jeans, but I right now I'm going to be riding with jeans. I got good shoes and I got gloves, but I'm going to always be riding with a helmet. Always.
Shoes, gloves, and helmet are your main important things. That protects your hands, your feet, and your head.
And the other reason,
typically your body will adapt. I mean, your skin will grow back if you lose any road rashes.
It hurts, but
And I've worn riding jackets and went down and had to eat right through the riding jacket. I actually was wearing one the night I went down and still tore up my elbow, and it ate right through the rider's jacket. Leather's the best if you're going to wear a riding jacket.
And that's so hard in Florida. I couldn't imagine. It's going to be hot anyway. I can only imagine.
And since I'm a daily rider, because I used to have this rule, anytime I'm on the Harley or riding the bike, I'm wearing pants, I'm wearing shoes, I'm wearing a shirt, maybe a sweatshirt or a jacket. But it's too hot, and I have to ride from here to work. So there are days I wear shorts and tennis shoes and a t-shirt, or not a t-shirt, but a thin shirt, because that's what I work in.
And it's just, that's the difference of experience there. I'm not even at the point where I'm even considering any, like the no helmet. I'm not even considering any of that right now. But the one thing I'm looking forward to is once I get the Boulevard or whatever my next bike will be, is getting the whole GoPro setup. And with the helmet, you have the helmet mounted stuff, to get video of where you're riding.
Yeah, I have different, because of my bike and all the fairing. I can affix my GoPro, which I have, to anywhere on the bike. Usually crash bars is a good place. Keeps you from putting any sticky stuff on your paint.
That's the crash bar?
Yeah, the crash bar is that big chrome bar in front of the motor.
I'm just learning, guys.
The other thing is I always, when we ride, I always have my backpack. My girlfriend is on the back, and she will run her phone, the GoPro, and everything from the back. I think on our next trip, though, we're gonna mount the GoPro maybe to the front of the bike, and then she'll have her or my cell phone, probably mine, because I think the iPhone is a much better camera system than her Android. And so we'll probably run that, and that way she can get behind her, beside her, views like that without having to
get video of me.
unmount the the GoPro.
Although our first video ever was filmed on her phone, although the audio kind of sucked, the video was pretty good.
Yeah, because we had camera issues that
Yeah,
time.
that was pretty
But,
good. We've come a long way from day one.
Well, this coffee talk probably went a little bit longer than we had planned.
So speaking of that, we'll go ahead and close out. Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you tell me about
Smash the bell.
your favorite dinosaur, and if you have any experience with the Suzuki Boulevard M90 Boss.